Hello, what's up, everybody? Another week, another AEW recap by the Great Ones, or the Beach Blasters, as they call us. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Not bad. Same as always. We're coming up on 9 days till Christmas and
Yeah, hard to believe.
the end of 2020. The most
Can't come
smooth,
soon enough.
the most smooth sailing, uneventful year in all of our lives.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what'd you think about today's show?
Uh, it was all right. It was good enough. Solid, I
Alright.
guess. I wouldn't say it was great, but it wasn't bad. I mean, there was nothing that really stood out to me except one particularly memorable spot we can get into later.
I think we know what that is, although maybe the viewers don't know what we're talking about.
You, the audience at home.
The
Yes.
consumer. Anyway, yeah. But I had a little different reaction. I thought this was pretty much a non-memorable show. Like nothing bad or nothing particularly terrible or made me want to change the channel or anything. But after it was over, I was like, this was 2 hours I could have been doing something else. Could have been watching Superman Returns, Man of Steel, coming up on TNT in a couple weeks before the big premiere of Wonder Woman on Christmas, streaming
Oh
live
yeah.
on HBO and in theaters. I could have been doing that instead of watching this AEW. But nothing really terrible or anything like that, but just next week I probably won't remember anything that happened other than
This week.
the main event.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess you're probably right.
Yep, but let's get into it. So AEW Dynamite, December 16th, 2020. We're starting off with Hangman Page and the Dark Order, Silver and Reynolds versus Hardy Party, Matt Hardy and Private Party. So we start out with Hangman's entrance, and then Reynolds and Silver come out with the cowboy hats and bandanas like Hangman, and Hangman is not having it. He does not want them to be dressed up the same. They're not partners. They're just teaming up this one time. We've got Hangman and Mark Quinn starting out. They are dodging each other's moves, and then Matt Hardy gets in. And so the beginning of this match was all about the Hardy Party. Matt Hardy and Private Party have been teaming up for a while, but it seems like the Dark Order and Hangman are actually the ones getting the double teams in and working better together. Eventually, though, Private Party and Matt Hardy isolate Silver. He makes Eventually, Silver makes a tag to Hangman. He runs wild, gets a fall-away slam on Isaiah Cassidy, follows up with a dive on a Matt Hardy, and then a big lariat to Isaiah. Then they tag in Reynolds. He runs wild on Quinn, gets a neckbreaker for 2. There's a series of double and triple teams moved by the Dark Order and Hangman. But then, in probably the most gruesome move of this match, Matt Hardy, it's a twist of fate off the apron
Oh yeah.
on Silver, and it looked like his neck compressed into about 1 millimeter. But then he clutched his knee, so I guess his neck was okay. Anyway, finish of the match comes with a gin and juice onto, was it? It was Reynolds, right?
Reynolds.
Yeah, so Private Party hit the gin and juice off onto Reynolds, but then Matt Hardy tags himself in. He gets the pin, and they celebrate. And Mark Quinn is looking at Matt Hardy like, what the hell, dude? Like, WTF? Like, why you gotta come in and take our pin? What's up with that? Okay match, I thought. What did you think?
It was okay. It wasn't my match of the night or anything. I was particularly impressed by Dark Order and Hangman's chemistry.
Yeah, they
Uh,
did okay
as,
with it.
yeah, as far as I know, this is the only time they've ever wrestled together. I mean, they might have wrestled each other, you know, off books or something, but on TV or in any kind of major show, I don't think they've ever wrestled together before, and they did a good job. I thought they were a good team.
Yeah.
Um, the one thing I will say, I will say one other thing too. It looks like Paige is actually having a good time, like genuinely having a good time with the Dark Order.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. I will say the ending was kind of sloppy. I thought maybe it was the camera work. I was completely confused that Hardy tagged himself in. I mean, I knew it because they said Hardy tagged himself
They
in, but
announced
only
it,
through the
yeah.
replay did I realize he did that. I think the camera angles were a little off. Maybe I don't know.
I caught it okay.
You caught it, yeah.
But no, you're right. They did cut a quite. They did do a bunch of cuts in that closing seconds. But I was able to follow it. But if you were kind of thrown off, I can totally see how that occurred, and not like you're like, what are you watching, dude? Like, but no, I could totally see that. But I was able to follow it. But yeah, so it looks like they're more this match was more progressing the story of Matt Hardy being kind of like a glory hound and anything. They didn't really
Turning heel.
Yeah, they didn't really follow up too much about Hangman not wanting to team up with the Dark Order. I guess we're gonna see where that goes.
I guess that's a slow burn. Maybe they're really trying to push, like you said, the Hardy Party angle faster than the Dark Order with Hangman angle, which can be a slow burn. It can take months for him to really kind of, I don't know, either join them or shun them. So, but we'll see where this Hardy Party thing goes.
So we've got the lineup for tonight: Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela in a title eliminator match. Okay. Sting is here. The Inner Circle versus the Best Friends, Top Flight, and the Varsity Blondes.
Blondes.
The Varsity Blondes. Which one is the correct one? The Blondes, right?
The Blondes.
Okay.
Varsity Blues, the movie.
Yeah. The Acclaimed versus SCU, and they announced that the Acclaimed is the number 5 ranked tag team. What? What? Out of all the tag teams in AEW, the Acclaimed is number 5. I don't care about what happens on AEW Dark. Sorry. But no. No.
But they've had so many great matches on Dynamite. Remember, there was that one. Oh no. And then oh wait. Oh yeah.
No. Okay. Serena Deeb and Big Swole is taking on Ivelisse and Diamante, and Cody Rhodes is gonna take on Angelico. And so we've got the Inner Circle in the back, and they're talking about how MJF was honored by the New York Times for the dinner debonair, and so he's got some kind of plaque or something. So he starts bragging about that, and he's got the Dynamite Diamond ring. So it's pretty much him, MJF stealing the spotlight from Jericho, and Jericho's just kind of like, okay, yeah,
congrats,
you're great,
man.
You're great, Max. And Max, MJF says, I couldn't do it without you, CJ. And Jericho says, you're right. And MJF says, CJ is a mentor, a GOAT, and my best friend. And Jericho ends the segment by just saying, congratulations.
That was so good. Oh man, it's good on so many levels.
Yeah, this is the Inner Circle at its best when it's short, sweet, and it feels real. Where Jericho probably is kind of like, this turd is stealing my spotlight.
Yeah,
not so much like seriously, but just a little hint of truth,
Mm-hmm. Oh, and MJF's smile was just so completely over the top fake. It was just so good. Like, we're in this together, buddy. It's like, oh man, I don't know. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good to watch this.
This is the slow burn for the eventual
watch this
betrayal.
all burn. Yeah.
And the best part is we don't know who it's gonna be. Is it gonna be Jericho turning on MJF, or is it gonna be MJF turning on Jericho? Or maybe it's gonna be the rest of the Inner Circle turning on Jericho and MJF. We don't know. I mean, there's numerous ways they could go with this, right? We don't know how it all turned out. But next we've got Cody and Brandy at home, and they've got a delivery at the door, and they open it up, and it's a pair of little baby shoes, and it says, "We're expecting a baby 2021." And Pharaoh has a baby security and training scarf on his neck, which I'm sure is already up on shopaew.com, although I didn't check. So it looks like Brandy and Cody are going to be parents next year.
Yeah, that's cool. Good for them. Following Moxley and Renee Young's announcement. That's cool. Good for them.
So congratulations to them. Nothing really more to say about that. But next we've got Cody versus Angelico. And they announce him as the future father, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And they start off slow with some arm wringers and arm drags. You do a crisscross, which is always the dumbest little spot in all of pro wrestling. You know, when they're running zigzag, you know, they're running across the ropes. Like, what the hell is this? I always thought that was like. I mean, there's more stupid things in wrestling, but I always thought that was one of the like you know the dive thing when people just like bunch up and wait and watch the guy dive on them. I get it. It's for safety reasons, right?
Yeah.
That's why it happens exactly that way. But that whole crisscross thing is just, what is this supposed to accomplish?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're both afraid of losing momentum.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, they do the crisscross. Cody does the drop down leapfrog into a drop kick. And then we get a announcement that we're going to go to picture in picture, except we don't. And I don't know about you, but where we live and where I live, at least on my TV, JR kept announcing picture in picture, and I don't think we got any.
No, I don't think there was no picture in picture.
I think we might have got one in the Inner Circle match. I don't remember. I know he announced it pretty much every time they went to commercial during a match, and we didn't get the picture in picture. I don't know if that was just TNT like screwing us over in Paradise or whatnot, but yeah, I don't remember getting it at all. Anyway, back from the break, Angelico counters the Cody drop down punch into a nice looking submission that traps both arms, and Cody bites the ropes to get the break. I thought that was pretty cool. Cody tries a disaster kick, and Angelico counters and puts him in the Navarro death roll, and he's probably as successful as Ric Flair is with the figure four because, of course, Cody doesn't tap and he gets the ropes. He tries for the crossroads, it gets reversed. He jumps into the air. Cody hits the Cody cutter and gets the 3. What did you think of this?
Solid. It was good. I like that they gave enough time for Angelico to really kind of showcase his talents more than just a sideshow on a tag team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like Angelico.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I really thought it would have been, personally, it would have been cool if they gave him a couple more minutes, maybe 5 more minutes. I mean, the finish was never in doubt. I would be shocked if Angelico won, but I'm glad they gave him the spotlight as the singles guy more than just, part of a tag team. So.
And one thing I liked is that Cody won with the Cody cutter. Because it's, it's always, like Matt Hardy with the side effect. It's like, oh, that's got to be it. It's like, except he's never won a match with that move, So I always like every once in a while they'll have somebody do like one of their signature moves and get a victory off that. That way it's kind of suspends the disbelief. Okay, maybe he will get the pen here. Other than, oh, well, he's not gonna get it unless he hits crossroads or something like that, right? So I kind of like that. I really like Angelico. I hope he eventually gets a bigger role. Him and Jack is awesome too, and I hope they eventually get some more time and some wins. Actually,
yeah, no, they're a better tag team than they're made out to be on Dark.
Than their ranking. Yeah, I'm sure they're not
exactly.
I'm sure they're not in the top 5.
No, because the Acclaimed is in the top 5 because they've been just putting it together on Dynamite over and over again for the last couple months, right?
Yep.
No. Oh wait, they haven't.
But anyway, it's another self-indulgent win for Cody, and I thought to myself, what does Team Taz think about this? And of course,
we're about to find out.
My prayers were answered as Team Taz comes out, and Taz congratulates him on his upcoming child. And Ricky grabs the mic and he says, "Where was our congratulations when we made you and Turtle Boy up there our sons. A couple of weeks ago?"
Oh, man.
And Taz gets back on the mic and he says, "Brian Cage is going to whoop your ass." But he's talking to Darby Allin. And then he says, "Well, this is what's going to happen right now. Team Taz is coming to the ring and we're going to put you on paternity leave," talking to Cody. And so they start walking down to the ring. But then the music starts playing, the snow starts falling, and it can only mean that Elsa is on their way to the ring. Except it's not Elsa, it's Sting. And Tony Schiavone does the "it's Sting." Sting is here with the bat, and Sting points the bat at Team Taz. He gives a stare to Cody. He gives a stare to Darby. He gets a wink. We get a wink from Sting. And then he stares at Darby in the rafters. Meanwhile, Team Taz just left because Sting pointed a bat at them. I mean, it's still it's still 5-on-2 or what?
I know.
What is it? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
5,
it's
right?
5-on-2. Yeah, there's 5 of
5-on-2.
them. Yeah.
And
But it's Sting.
but it
It's
is
Sting. I
Sting,
don't
so
think you understand. It's
yeah,
Sting.
it is Sting. It's
Yeah.
Sting. So after last week, Sting says he wasn't here for Cody. I guess maybe he's there for Darby. Is that where they're going with this?
They're really leaving it a mystery, and I don't think we're gonna know for quite some time. I guess it's all part of the game. We'll see. I will say that this is the first time I think I've ever seen Darby smile. Did you notice that?
I didn't even notice that. Did he really?
He smiled when he wasn't even before Sting came out, but he smiled, he smirked, just a little bit when like Cage was calling him out or something like that. He's like, okay, all right, we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
First time I ever seen him smile.
I didn't really notice
Yeah.
that, but good catch. But yeah, this was
Yeah.
really good. Cody's good. Darby's good. Sting is awesome. Team Taz is gold. So perfect. This was great. So we've got
Yeah.
Miro in the back with Alex Marvez, and Marvez says, you know, you've been fined $75K, $25K for each of the people you put in the hospital last week. So he says his problem is with Orange Cassidy because he doesn't care, and he's gonna take on Sunny Kiss on AEW Dark. But next week on Dynamite, we've got a wedding date announcement for Kip and Penelope. And Alex Marvez says, well, what about all the people in the hospital? And Miro yells, bah, humbug. Like, okay, it's pretty cool. Anything you want to add for this one?
I don't know, man. Like it was fine for what it was. I'm really starting to grow tired of this Miro, Kip, best friends, Orange Cassidy feud. I got tired of it pretty much from
from
the
day
gate.
one.
Yeah, out the gate from the get-go, but I don't know, man. It's like, do we still have to continue doing this? And obviously we do, because later on there's a follow-up promo in regards to this, but
We'll get
I
to
don't know.
that.
Yeah. But
We'll get to that.
he comes off as, I don't know. I
Miro
guess,
comes off as likable, though.
yeah, he comes off as the heel, but like the kind of like the funny heel.
Yeah.
You know,
Where you kind of root for him, even though he's supposed to be the bad guy.
yeah.
I mean, he's just trying to help out Kip and Penelope.
I wanted Marvez to bring up, why did you attack Orange when fucking, you know, the Inner Circle were the one that screwed you out of the Diamond Ring? I wanted somebody to bring that up, but
I guess he just hates Orange that much. That's got to be the only reason. But they yeah, you're right that they did not do a good job explaining that.
Yeah. And his beef is not even really with Orange, right?
It's with the best friends.
Exactly. I mean, I get he's adjacent to them, but that's like attacking, like, I don't know. You know, that's like attacking somebody out of spite for the other guys when they really are not the target. You know?
The correlation is a little weak.
Yeah. Especially considering the circumstances, you know, I'm not going to beat it to death, but considering the circumstances with the Inner Circle too, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
that's my rant. Yeah.
We've got Eddie Kingston out without the boys. Says he's got enemies. And the first one is the big guy upstairs. Like, oh, I don't know if you want to pick a fight with that guy. But okay. So he's got the next one is Pac. And then the another one is that big goofy bastard Lance Archer. And within 3 seconds of him saying Archer, Lance Archer is in the ring beating up Eddie Kingston.
That was like light speed, man.
Yeah. He was probably in the back. Lance Archer's in the back watching the monitors. Like, he better not say me. He better not say me. But he does. And Lance Archer comes out, light speed, like you said, runs into the ring, starts beating up Kingston. Out come Butcher and the Blade in aprons. I guess they were cutting meat in the background, in the backstage. And so the numbers advantage takes over. They get the upper hand. They start beating on Lance Archer. But out come the Lucha Brothers and Pac. And they get into a brawl. And this is really the first time that Penta has really mixed it up with Eddie and B&B. So it looks like they're not following up on that storyline of where does Penta's loyalties truly lie, you know? Or at least they're not this week anyway. And so
It
they
can still
get
pay off later.
yeah, but they didn't really allude to that this week because Penta was just all in on fighting B&B and Eddie Kingston. So they get into a brawl. Pac and Archer beating up Kingston on the outside. The Butcher and the Blade take stereo super kicks by the Lucha Brothers and a dive by Rey Fenix. Archer back in the ring was gonna chokeslam Kingston, but Pac kicks Kingston out of the ring, so Archer and Pac are having some words. So yeah, Eddie Kingston's got quite a bit of a number of enemies.
Yeah, he had it coming, I guess.
Anything you want to say about this one?
No, I think it's solid all around. It's funny to see heels fight heels, and you know, nothing against the Butcher and the Blade, but it really comes down to, well, even the Lucha Brothers. I love the Lucha Brothers. They're probably the best tag team.
Are they even ranked
outside
though?
of me? Good question. Outside the Young Bucks, probably the best tag team. Outside the FTR, maybe. But it really comes down to Archer, Pac, and Kingston, right? The three of those just going at each other on the mic and in the ring, you know, just is really what this is all about, and it's perfect. Because I can't tell who I'm really rooting for, you know. I guess in the end, I want Kingston to lose.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
In the back,
Although,
go ahead.
No. Although, you know, it'd be cool if he won too. We'll see. We'll see how this ends up playing out. Yeah.
In the back, we've got Dustin with Dasha, and he is pissed at Eva Uno calling him the third most important Rhodes. I mean, he is hot. He is like super butthurt about it. I mean, and he challenges Uno to a match next week, and it's kind of like, you kind of are the third most important Rhodes, though. So
I think he was more mad about the 7 reference, like you mentioned last week, which I looked up afterwards, and wow, talk about a failed gimmick.
Well, a failed gimmick, but one of those ones that it was pretty much, it was a good idea that they pulled the plug on that one.
No, you're right. It was too much. Yeah, it would be hard to even pull that off today.
Oh, I'm sure they couldn't pull it off today. There's no way in hell they would dare pull off a dude who watches children sleep character.
If they're trying to be well, maybe that's too edgy. Yeah,
No,
right.
no.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got Best Friends and Top Flight and the Varsity Blondes versus the Inner Circle. And they mentioned that Wardlow is not there due to family matters. Brian Pillman and Jericho start. And eventually Sammy gets in there and he wrestles both of Top Flight. And they were doing some cool high-flying stuff. But it ends with an eventual punch to the face by Sammy onto Dante. And then the Best Friends and Santana get in there, and then it turns into a huge brawl. And then they clean house on the Inner Circle, and they do a 6-way hug. And this is really irritating to me, of how like Excalibur always says, you know, you gotta give the people what they want. It's like, who wants this? They just hug. It was kind of cool like before, but now the Best Friends are very unlikable. Sorry. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you on that one. They're really starting to get on my nerves. I don't know. I know we talked about it, you know, to no end, but how are these guys the good guys?
I don't know. Anyway, Santana hits 3 amigos on Trent, and the third one is a double team with Ortiz. That was pretty cool. And so we get another announcement that we're getting some restaurant quality picture-in-picture. Nope, didn't get it. Back from the break, we get La Sex Gaz pose, which is infinitely cooler than the hug. You know, Jericho and Sammy's smiling pose. Way better. We got a shooting star by Sammy. He misses, gets a bicycle knee in the face by Trent. They show Orange just lounging on commentary, not doing anything, not even commentating the match. Doesn't even seem like he's watching the match. Darius goes for a dive. He's intercepted by Santana, but then Dante takes out Santana on Ortiz. They get a half and half soul food. The Best Friends I'm talking about. Garrison hits a rolling elbow on Ortiz. Jericho hits Garrison with the bat from the outside. Then Hager comes in, does a F10 a la Wardlow. That was interesting. Anyway, after he does the F10, MJF demands a tag. Hager obliges, gives him the tag, and MJF runs in and gets a 3 count. So in two consecutive tag team matches, we've got Matt Hardy who tags himself in and pins the guy when he doesn't do a move. And then we've got MJF who demands a pin, demands a tag, gets a tag, and then gets a pin. He doesn't even do a move. So pretty much the same ending for both tag matches. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, back to back. You're right. I was odd. And I didn't really get any animosity from Hager for doing that. Did you? Did you see anything?
No.
I thought he would have been furious. Like, why am I going to tag
like,
you?
why am I gonna
Yeah.
tag you? You know, like I
Yeah.
just, you know, like I'm getting the victory here. But he was just like, yeah, okay, here's a tag. You pin him, MJF.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I don't know. Maybe something happened off camera, but at least what we saw is like, it seems like he's okay with that, which is
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
But it was a okay match, I thought.
It was good considering it's really hard to manage a 12-man tag team like that. There was good action, solid action. Seemed like everyone had some role to play. I gotta say, man, and I know we've discussed this before. This is probably the second time they've been on Dynamite now. Top Flight are stars in the making.
Top Flight is awesome. They
Yeah,
should be
those
the
guys are
number
great.
5 ranked tag team in AEW.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to believe they're only 19 and 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. I look forward to watching them for many, many years. They're
Yeah, agreed.
spectacular. Very likable, awesome moves, you know, very good in the ring. Likable guys. Their promo later was okay. I mean, given their experience level,
They're young.
was
Yeah.
was good. It wasn't bad, but
Mhm.
we'll get to that later. But after the match, the Inner Circle continue the attack, and then Top Flight gets in some drop kicks on Jericho and MJF, and then they play up the fact that Jericho is now pissed off at Top Flight. It's like, okay.
He's very mercurial, huh? Like as soon as anyone attacks him, and he's literally attacking someone else, they're on a shit list, right?
Yeah.
How dare you come in and make the save? Sorry.
So here we go. You know what's coming up next? The best segment on AEW Dynamite this week. Not sarcastic and not joking. We talked about this before the show, but we are dead serious. This was the best part of Dynamite this week. So Marvez is in the back with Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa starts going at 1,000 miles a minute. She's trash talking Britt. She's saying, you know, you're the face of the women's division. You're not the face of the women's division. You know, why did I get into it with you? Is because you interfered in my match. I'm beating your ass. You know, I belong in AEW. Blah blah blah. She's basically running down Britt verbally and psychologically. But then Reba interrupts, and I forget what Reba says, but she says something. And
Nobody says that about my doctor.
Yeah, something like that. And then Britt attacks Thunder Rosa from behind. They beat Reba and Britt beat the crap out of her. Britt Baker says, "You don't belong here in AEW." She puts Thunder Rosa in the lockjaw, and then Reba just pours water all over her face, and Britt smudges all the face paint on her. And Britt says, "Huh? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?"
No, I didn't say anything. No.
Oh. She smudges the face paint all over Thunder Rosa, ruining her, you know, her face paint. And then Britt looks at the camera and says, "Oh, does this camera still work? You know, I hope your ugly face didn't break it." Talking about Thunder Rosa. And so the last shot of this scene is Thunder Rosa knocked out on the ground, face paint all messed up in a puddle of water. Her face in a puddle of water. This was hilarious. I do not think that this was their intended purpose, but I was dying of laughter at this part. Oh my god. After talking all that shit, Thunder Rosa just got beat to a pulp and then is left knocked out with water and face paint all smudged.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I should be laughing so much at this segment, but I was. Like, as soon as like Britt, like, you know, attacked her and smudged her face paint and the whole line about, "Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it didn't break the camera." It's
Yeah, and
like you said, yeah.
it's not that I don't dislike Thunder Rosa by any means. I know I was going off before about the whole NWA thing, but I don't have a problem with Thunder Rosa wrestling on AEW as long as it's part of AEW storylines. But this was just funny. Like, she talked all kinds of shit, and then she just got her ass beat. It was just funny.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't really have any problem with her, but yeah, and I guess that was not their intended purpose, but I was laughing because I thought it was funny. Like you said, she was talking all kinds of smack for a good solid minute at least, and she got attacked and got beat up.
Yeah.
She got
But
beat up.
this is easily the best part of the show. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. This was an all-time, maybe not all-time, but definitely a great segment.
A Dynamite great, at least. One of the great Dynamite segments. Yeah.
So up next, we've got SCU versus the aforementioned number 5 ranked tag team in AEW, The Acclaimed. And talk about your underwhelming debuts on Dynamite. They come out and they do a rap dissing SCU, which actually was pretty good. I didn't write down what he said, but they're pretty much, talking about, they're past their prime, they're old, the usual running down of SCU stuff. And then Kazarian gets on the mic and out raps the guy. Am I the only one? Did you not think Kazarian won the battle?
Yeah, his rap was pretty good.
His rap was pretty good, including a comparison to the Acclaim being compared to Men on a Mission. Wow. So Kazarian destroys these guys in a rap battle when their whole gimmick is they're like people who diss people in raps. Okay. So they claimed are Bowens and Caster. They don't tell us which one is which.
It's on their trunks. Bowens is the one in the regular wrestling tights.
Well, they didn't really do a good job of explaining who these guys were.
And Caster is in the long tights.
Yeah, I know that. I got it eventually, but they didn't do a good job of distinguishing the two of them, which was a big deal back in their WWE days of Dash and well, he's not Dash anymore. Cash and Dax, they were Dash and Dawson, and people couldn't tell who which one was which. But yeah, the Acclaim did. I don't really want. I thought they were okay. They were decent in the ring, but they were nowhere near as good as Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. I mean, they shouldn't be because they're definitely not as experienced. But like we said before, the first time we ever saw Top Flight, we're like, damn. These guys are awesome. Want to see them again. The Acclaim, I don't really think it's their fault, but after watching them, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. This did an okay job of kind of introducing them to the Dynamite, audience, but it wasn't amazing. Like, it wasn't a crazy, and it was no fault of SCU, really. They tried. I mean, they did their spots, and they did what they could, but it wasn't like Top Flight's debut with the Young Bucks,
Yeah, Top Flight. As soon as within the first couple minutes, I was like, I want to see these guys on TV all the time. With the Acclaim, it was just like I could really care less.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll have to see what happens going forward, and I'm sure you'll bring up what their next match will be. Maybe that'll be more of a showcase for them. We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah. So anyway, they get the victory. They beat SCU, which I feel is a very disservice to SCU. SCU seems to be losing all the damn time, but they hit Daniels with the boombox to the face, and then follow up with a move to get the 3 count. Kind of like a side effect, actually. But yeah, so they lost the rap battle, and then they won by cheating. So how am I supposed to expect these guys are a threat to the Young Bucks?
True.
So they after the match they rap about the Young Bucks. They challenge the Bucks to the titles next week, and of course they say yes. And then the end in the rap they're like, "Ooh, mic drop," and it's like, was it really a mic drop? I don't know about that one. But they the Bucks of course will accept the challenge, and in something maybe interesting later on, Kazarian was a little bit upset at Christopher Daniels for the loss.
Yeah. So I know you don't always catch up with BTE, but they've been building his anger problems as kind of a segment on BTE for quite some time now.
Oh,
So,
really?
and they even said it, at the commentary desk, like, oh, he's got these anger issues. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it would be weird if he digs out on SCU at this point in time, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Okay. So in the back, we've anything else you wanted to add about the match itself or anything like that?
No, I think that about covers it. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I mean, let's see if they really deserve this top 5 ranking, and more on top of that as an actual title shot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We've got Dasha in the back with Top Flight, and she asked one of the dumbest questions ever: why did they make the save? Because Jericho and MJF were beating up their friends.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. So it wasn't just me, right? It's like, why did you make the save? It's not like they came from the back.
Yeah,
They were there.
They
They
didn't,
were 10 feet away. That would be like me not coming to, save you when you're getting beat up by Jericho and MJF when I'm 10 feet away, which I wouldn't because we're not that close. But
They were in the match.
I know. It was kind of a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
She could have opened up with anything else, but
So I didn't get this at first because they had mentioned this earlier, and I was kind of like, that's really dumb. But they're kind of like Flair, I guess, is they're the coldest team in the game. I don't understand that.
So they're from Minnesota. I looked it up. In fact, they have new merch.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, they have new merch. Yeah,
so
they're from Minnesota.
Shouldn't they be like the hottest team in the game? But okay,
yeah.
All right, it works. They never explained that, so I didn't know. I just thought that was kind of like a weird nickname for them, or weird, they're the coldest team in the game. Like, huh? That was confusing. Anyway, so they've got Top Flight versus CJ and MJF, or they can accept or run like two little bitches. So I don't know, Top Flight. You're taking on Jericho and MJF. I don't like your chances of winning.
Yeah, that's a tall order, considering that the entire Inner Circle will probably be ringside as well.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? They're young. They've got to learn their lesson.
True.
Don't pick a fight you can't win. So up next, we've got Diamante and Ivelisse versus Serena Deeb and Big Swole. And Diamante and Ivelisse actually have like a tag team now. Did you catch it? Because it was some kind of like Spanish sounding name. I didn't get it.
But I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
But they're kind of in similar ring gear, and I guess they've been wrestling on Dark a lot. So.
Yeah, I mean they did win that. Yeah. They did win that women's tag team tournament over the summer. So.
Which meant so much.
Yeah. So they showed last week the clip of when Red Velvet was getting beat up by Jade Cargill, Nyla, and Vicky, and then Serena Deeb and Swole made the save, but then Diamante and Ivelisse came up and started messing with them too. So then JR says the dumbest line of the night when talking about Serena Deeb, and he says, "There's not a more talented young lady in AEW than her." Talking about Serena Deeb. Hikaru Shida? The fucking champion?
The champion?
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I was kind of zoning in and out of this match, so.
So I thought this match was pretty good. There wasn't really a lot to it. I think Diamante's kind of bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that too, She's kind of the weakest. She was definitely the weakest of this match.
The other three were good.
Yeah.
And Big Swole got the win with the Clearwater Cloverleaf, and they just beat the tag team tournament winners like it was no big deal. Okay. And out comes Nyla, and so Nyla and Ivelisse and Diamante are beating up Serena and Big Swole. And then out comes Red Velvet, and she whacks Nyla with a chair. So they're continuing the feud with Red Velvet and Nyla, I guess, instead of Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. A
But
lot of times with the women's division, I'm kind of like, I
I'm
don't
all
know.
for it. I'm all for it. AEW women's storylines. I'm all
Oh,
for it.
really? I
I'm all for it. It's not the NWA title. I'm all for it.
yeah, okay.
I
I
won't
can see where you're
complain.
coming with that. I'm with your understanding on that. Okay, I guess I can
Yeah.
get with that.
Red Velvet's cool, and Nyla's come a long way. I like. I think Nyla's very good now. I think when AEW first started, she was kind of bad, but
Green.
I think she's figured out who her character is, and her in ring stuff is solid now. So yeah, Red Velvet and Nyla is be a cool program. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
Any
good. We'll see.
any
We'll see where it goes.
anything else you want to add?
Um, no, that's about it, I guess. So Serena Deeb is an AEW wrestler, right?
Yeah.
She's not an NWA wrestler, even
She's
though
an
she
A
has the NWA belt,
Even though
right?
exactly. She's an
Okay.
AEW wrestler, but she's holding the NWA
Okay.
championship.
Got it.
And there's not a
Confusing.
more talented young lady than her, apparently, in AEW.
Okay, JR.
Okay. I mean, I know you got to sell your stuff, but I don't know.
He should say that about every wrestler. Every match is like, there's not a more talented wrestler on the on the card
Yeah.
in the organization, and then the very next one he says it again. There's not a more talented wrestler.
So up next, we've got a little segment with the best friends, and so
Gold.
they pretty much announced that they're gonna be at the Holiday Bash coming up next week, and they're gonna ruin Kip and Penelope's wedding announcement. Dicks. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, that's what they did. They announced we are gonna ruin somebody's wedding announcement.
They telegraphed this. I mean, this is what it comes down to when feuds are never ending. Do you know what I mean? Like when somebody should just really kind of take the high road, and they don't. This is why feuds are never ending, and
Yeah.
this is a prime example. You know, I get that they want to get the last laugh on Miro and Kip,
And
but are
really,
you sure it's a good time to be doing that? Yeah.
Miro was the one who ruined Orange Cassidy's Dynamite ring thing match last week. So
Yeah.
now they're gonna ruin Kip and Penelope's wedding announcement.
It kind of goes hand in hand with what Miro
It-
did to Orange.
it's kind of like crossing the line though. Like this is a wedding announcement, something that transcends professional wrestling. You know,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
they just
true.
come off as dicks in this.
Yeah, like I said, this feud, man. I don't know. I want to squash it already. We'll see where it goes. Yeah.
Next week we've got a Jurassic. Not next week. Up next we've got a Jurassic Express video, and it says they'll. For a split second, we can see that they'll be taking on the Dark Order next week, but then they cut to the announce desk, and FTR is pissed off. They're like, "What is the tag team division done?" They're talking about a fake ass Tarzan and a grown man dressed as a dinosaur, and they're pissed off about the Jurassic Express getting time when they're the face of the division and they're the greatest tag team. They're the PWI #1 tag team in the world. And then Tully says, "Fear the revelation." So it looks like FTR is going to be in a program with Jurassic Express next.
Yeah, they got a point. They have a point. Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
I think they should be more pissed off about the Acclaim than Jurassic Express, but
fair point. Even yeah.
I mean, not to just keep bagging on the Acclaim, but #5 ranked. You gotta be kidding.
No, but you bring up a good point. Here's why AEW's rankings really
are dumb.
Are really kind of shit on, because these guys came out of nowhere, and I get that they have this 7-1 win record, but they've never wrestled on Dynamite. You know, and I don't know who they beat on Dark.
And I can guarantee you, if we look up who they've beat on Dark, they have beaten nobody of particular note.
Yeah, SU was probably their first real win against some like a main tag
team.
Yeah. And so, how are they suddenly number 5 and getting a title shot? I, I mean, and that's why, like you said, like I know you're not shitting on them, but it's way too fast for them to just be thrown into the mix for a
Yeah,
title shot.
yeah. Why isn't Top
Yeah,
Flight number 5?
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, we've got the lineup for next week. We've got the Young Bucks versus the Acclaim for the AEW Tag Team titles. We've got Jericho and MJF versus Top Flight. Hikaru Shida will be in action. Dustin Rhodes versus Evo Uno. Jurassic Express versus Colt 5 and 10 of the Dark Order. And then we've got Pac versus The Butcher. But up next, we've got the main event, Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega in a title eliminator match, which is, I guess it kind of is, because if Joey Janela wins, then he gets a title shot.
Title shot.
But he's got to beat the champion. So it's kind of weird, but man, like I said before, somebody at AEW hates Joey Janela. I don't know what the hell he did, but he pissed off Tony Khan or somebody in the back, because they just make him out. Well, we got to talk about the match, but they make him out to be the biggest loser ever. Right? Am I the only one who thinks this?
No, you're right. And it's weird because I remember when we first started watching AEW, let me take that back. When AEW first started airing Dynamite, he seemed like somebody who was gonna get a big push. Like, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't think he was gonna be the champion like anytime soon or ever, but it seemed like he was one of their guys that was like, hey, look, we got this guy. He doesn't look like much, but yeah, but he's a sleeper. He could be somebody big. And then ever since then, like I'd say after maybe the first 3 or 4 months, he's been like booked in like loss after loss after loss.
And just
You
made
know?
to look like an idiot too. Like
Yeah,
he got smoked like a Thanksgiving ham when Jericho took him on. Remember?
yeah, yeah.
And then this
That's
match, well, we'll get into this match, but if you notice, Kenny Omega is now walking out of the
the heel tunnel.
heel tunnel, the bad
Yeah.
guy tunnel. So, Tony Schiavone in the line of the night, saying he's glad Kenny Omega helped Impact get their numbers up from one person to 6. It's like, that was a sick burn by Tony Schiavone. Oh man.
Wow, that was a good burn.
So Joey Janela, the start of the match, Joey Janela sneak attacks us because we're looking at one camera angle, but for some reason he caught Kenny Omega completely off guard, throwing a trash can in his face. Because Joey Janela is, we're watching, the cameras on the side, so we're looking at Kenny Omega from the side, and we can't see what's in front of Kenny Omega. But Kenny Omega, looking straight ahead, can see that Joey Janela is running straight at him with a trash can. But anyway, I thought that was it's not like a big deal, but I just thought that was really funny that the start of the match he got caught off guard. It's like, what were you looking at, Kenny?
That's true.
Yeah.
A good point.
But Don Callis is out, and he gets in Shivani's face, and he tells him, take off the headset. I want the headset. I'm the only one qualified to commentate a Kenny Omega match. And Shivani says, kiss my ass and go away. Tony Schiavone is the best. The absolute best. So now Callis is calling the match with the house mic. And he gives one mic to Kenny too. So Kenny Omega is commentating his match. His own match while beating the crap out of Joey Janela. I mean, talk about making Joey Janela look like the biggest loser in the world. He's got a guy commentating his own match while beating the crap out of him. So he hits Joey Janela with a cookie sheet. He does a moonsault while holding the trash can onto Janela. He does a springboard double stomp onto the trash can on Janela. But then finally, he gets a little too cocky. He goes for the one-wing angel. And Joey Janela reverses it into a Hurricane Rana. And Janela hits a leg drop off the top to the outside on Kenny Omega, who's lying on a table. But then, Poor Joey. He misses a moonsault. Kenny hits 2 V triggers. Goes for the 1-wing angel. Gets the W. And that is the end of the match. Do you want to say anything, add anything to this?
No, I think it did what it needed to do. I think it basically served as a glorified squash. It's too bad Joey's on the receiving end of all these.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. It was fine for a main event, I guess. I liked what happened afterwards, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Kenny Omega beats Joey Janela with 4 minutes before the top of the hour, so we know that's not the end of Dynamite. And Don Callis is on the mic again, and he says, now there are no more questions about the tournament because as was explained, Joey Janela had to skip out on his match in the AEW title eliminator tournament because he got exposed to someone with COVID, so it was Sonny Kiss who took on Kenny Omega in the first round. So now that he's gotten destroyed by Kenny Omega, there's no one else who has any claims the title eliminator tournament being a fix except for one person, as we will see. So Pat comes out and he says that we have some unfinished business, but he wants to address another injustice, and that is that Rey Fénix didn't lose in the tournament. And I don't know about that one because he kind of did lose. He forfeited because he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah, technically.
It's kind of a loss. I mean, he didn't get pinned in the ring, but you couldn't even wrestle, bro. That's
AEW plays these rules very fast and loose, don't they?
That's kind of like a loss. But anyway, whatever. So Don Callis says wrestlers don't tell the world champ what to do, but Pac says, well, that's where you're wrong, because I just spoke to Tony Khan, and on December 30th, Kenny Omega will have to defend the title against Rey Fénix. Hell yeah. So even though it's kind of a stretch on Rey Fénix not losing in the tournament, we're getting Rey Fénix versus Kenny Omega, so who the hell cares?
You think this was the plan all along? It couldn't have been, right?
No.
I mean, Fénix was really hurt, right?
I think he was really hurt.
Yeah, okay.
And it just turns out they just went with it because they went with the story that Janela never lost, so they probably have to follow up on. Well, Fénix didn't.
Fénix didn't lose either. Yeah.
Lose either. So yeah.
Looking forward to that match.
I'm definitely looking forward to that match. It should be better than the rest of this show tonight, which was not, like I said before, not terrible, but also not too memorable. I think my match of the night was probably Cody and Angelico.
Yeah, I guess that would probably be mine too. It definitely wasn't the main event.
I mean, the main event wasn't bad, but it was just pretty much how much of a loser can we make Joey Janela look like?
Yeah, I don't know. It did what it needed to do. I mean, going back to what I said, it did what it needed to do. But if you're gonna make it the main event, you kind of gotta do more than make it a squash match,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. At least give Joey some semblance of a chance, like a 1% chance that he may win this, because he didn't even have that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody actually thought Joey was gonna win, but or I thought, I thought a little smidgen that he was gonna win. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if someone from Impact came and screwed over Kenny Omega and have Joey Janela win that way?
Wow, that would be bold and quite a shock at the same time.
That actually would have lit up the fires for me, anyway. But it didn't happen. So, as it turns out, the best segment of this AEW Dynamite was Thunder Rosa's interview. Oh boy,
man, we always laugh at
the weirdest things.
I know, the most inappropriate thing. Like, I'm sure that was not their intended angle, but
definitely not.
I was laughing.
So that was it for AEW Dynamite. Do you want to add anything or any closing remarks? Anything you want to say?
About it.
Okay. Well, thanks as always, to everybody who catches us out there. And we will catch you next week for AEW Dynamite, the Holiday Bash.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. First part 1, or is it the holiday? Oh, I
I
guess
think
that
it's
is.
I think
That
the
is,
Holiday Bash is 1 week, and then the New Year's
is
festival.
a
Oh no,
2-part.
the Holiday Festival and the New Year's Bash, or whatever. But the New Year's thing is 2 weeks because it's
Got it.
got Jericho on commentary and then Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
So did you see this on Reddit? I saw this on Reddit. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Where they said that because so you know who Sasha Banks is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's actually Snoop Dogg's real life cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Snoop Dogg has made an appearance or two in WWE. And then it was announced last week that he's gonna be appearing on AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much just it's probably I mean, I'm sure it's to help
Promote the
promoting
big
that
show.
that big go big show.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently word got out that people higher up, the higher ups in WWE, are not too happy with Snoop Dogg that he's appearing on AEW Dynamite. And so I can see you're already laughing because I get the same reaction, and pretty much people on Reddit are on the same page as like, you really think Snoop Dogg gives a shit about what WWE thinks of him?
Yeah, he's not a wrestler. He could care less. It's not like he needs their backing on any of this.
No. I mean, I'm sure Snoop is not losing sleep that WWE is not happy with him.
Yeah. Maybe if it was a record label or something, he might be worried. But
I don't know.
otherwise,
I don't know. His money bed is probably very comfortable.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I just thought that was funny. But yeah, that's it for us, guys. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.